Community Viewpoint with Maria Hurst.
Hi, welcome to Community Viewpoint. I'm your host for this segment, Maria Hurst, and thank you so much for joining us. We have a lot to cover this show. We have so much to talk about, and we're going to talk about a lot of different stuff. So let's get right into it. So now that winter is kind of coming to an end, we're coming into spring, we're in a little bit of a rainy season, we want to make sure we get some stuff taken care of. So first, we want to talk about weeds. The rains have come, there's lots of weeds coming out. They're going to get out of control if we don't get a hold of them, so we're going to want to take care of those weeds. The fire department has recommended that all weeds go to the landfill. However, right now you are available to get a burn permit. If it's not windy, you do have to call ahead of time or go and apply for a burn permit. But they do recommend that you go ahead and take those to the landfill instead, because the burn permits, you won't be able to get one pretty soon. And it's safer to just take it to the landfill. So you want to get that under control because the rains are making those grow. Next thing, weeds can also bring bugs. So you're going to want to handle that too. Take care of your bugs, get the spray, or hire somebody to come and do the spraying. You want to get that taken care of. Next, weeds, if they get out of control, they can be a fire hazard. So we want to also remind you, not just for outside, but for inside as well, just be cautious. Get your batteries changed in your smoke detectors. Make sure you have working smoke detectors. And you want to just also, in general, have fire safety. Use common sense when you're talking about, burning candles and all that stuff in your house too, and cooking and all that. So just make sure your fire detectors are in good working order. So John also talked about some insurance in the segment previous to mine. So if you missed any part of that, you can rewatch that. And that is about flood insurance. There's some information on there. So let's just segue into something a little bit bigger, just a little. So in a report from NASA, seven Earth-sized planets have been discovered in another solar system. That's the TRAPPIST-1 system. The planets are labeled, their star being A, and the rest of the planets just going in alphabetical order. They're orbiting a tiny dwarf star 20 light years away. One or more could be at the right temperature to have oceans. This is the first time this many planets have been discovered together orbiting a star. It's the first time this many planets. So based on the distance of the planets and the distance they are to the sun and the temperatures, they could have oceans. However, this planet is very young. So it was much more active when it was young, as were many of us. So when the planet was younger, it was more active. And that could have kept life from forming on those planets. So here is a picture comparing the size of our sun to the TRAPPIST-1 star. So it is much, much, much smaller, and it is a lot cooler. Not cool because it's like over 4,000 degrees Celsius. However, cooler than our own sun. So even if these planets cannot harbor life or cannot sustain life, that we can still learn a lot from them. Scientists can learn what keeps life from forming. So they can learn a lot from this system. So they're very pretty. They're all in a row. They have an orbit from between 1.5 to 20 days. And they're a lot closer to their star than we are to our sun. So that really brings into perspective the end of Men in Black 1. When all those systems are you see the little solar system on the cat's collar, and then it goes into our system, and then we're just a part of another system and a part of another system, and then we're all just in one little marble of this giant creature. So who knows? We don't know. That's Hollywood, but really brings it to the forefront, makes you think a little bit, right? So how much time are we at? Did I go too fast or what? We have 8 minutes per Noah, our awesome technical director, in the booth. Watch him every day on 46 News. He is also our weatherman. Thumbs up. Okay, so I want to segue, since we talked about something very large, our universe or universes, I want to talk about something back here on Earth. And that's all this political turmoil going on. It's driving us crazy. America is going crazy. These people are not getting along. People are unfriending each other on social media. I mean, it's a big time problem. I mean, there's a lot of problem, and we don't need to have all these problems. We're all Americans. Everybody wants America to succeed. All politicians want America to succeed. So I want to show you a little video, and I want to, well, first I want to talk about the presidents. I mean, all the presidents, they get along. They're all presidents. They're all working towards the same goal, America's success. All the politicians are working towards success. They're smiling together. They're working together. So I just want to put that into perspective a bit. So you can see, I mean, look at all those smiles. All the presidents are working together. They all want America to succeed, as I'm sure everybody watching today wants America to succeed, as do I. I want everybody to get along. So, having said that, I want to segue into a short video about two opposing sides, and I want you to see how they handled a difficult situation, and then we're going to come back.
We were in the trenches on Christmas Eve, and about 8:30, the firing was almost at a standstill.
An einigen Stellen waren auf der Brustwehr Tannenbäume mit brennenden Kerzen gestellt, worüber die Engländer durch Zurufe und Hängeklatschen ihre Freude ausdrückten.
We had a commotion in the German trenches, and then they began to sing Silent Night.
My grandfather was a captain in the Royal Warwicks. He's a man I knew little about until I read his diaries. He made contact with two German officers at dawn on Christmas Day. That was really the start of a mass exchange of things in no man's land between German and British soldiers.
As the day broke, the enemy would be seen to bob up and down, and as the British did not fire, they plucked up enough courage to get out of their trenches.
I met their officer, and we arranged a local armistice for 48 hours. As far as I can tell, this effort of ours extended itself throughout the whole line. The soldiers on both sides met in their hundreds and exchanged greetings and gifts.
The Christmas truce wasn't just one event, it was a whole series of events scattered along a fairly small area of the front line, but it certainly wasn't continuous.
Some soldiers died on Christmas Day 1914. They got out of the trench thinking there was a truce, and they were shot by Germans who didn't want a truce. So it was a very courageous thing for them to do.
It was an experience of a lifetime, I should think, and one very rare.
Dann wurde alles ausgetauscht, was jeder gerade bei sich hatte. Tabak, Schokolade, Schnaps, Ordenbänder und vieles andere mehr. Es war ein drolliger Anblick.
During the day we had football matches with a new ball sent by some kind friends. So you see, it takes a good lot to upset our men and make us forget Christmas.
We may never know what really happened. We can't be 100% sure that there was a football match between the Germans and the Allies. There probably was, almost certainly was. What matters is the message that that whole event carries, which is, you know, even at the toughest of times, in the heat of war and in the most dreadful occasions, there can be great humanity.
The Christmas truce certainly happened. Who knows all the details behind it, but it's a really good way for people to start to understand the First World War and understand the humanity, not just the scale and destruction, but also all those small moments of charity and support and human contact that easily get lost otherwise.
It is a great hope for future peace when two great nations, hating each other as foes have seldom hated, should on Christmas Day, and for all that the word implies, lay down their arms, exchange smokes, and wish each other happiness.
Well, what did you think? That story, Noah brought that story to my attention, and it's very, very touching. And if two opposing sides can come together and get along, then we can get along with our friends, our coworkers, our neighbors, and with all of our fellow Americans. We can get along with them. I just hate to hear about longtime friends and family members not speaking to each other, unfriending each other on social media. I don't want to hear that. I want everybody to get along. So we were talking before the show, and I mean, it's a consensus here. No matter what your political opinions are, no matter which politician, there is no politician that's actively trying to destroy America. Everybody wants the same goal. Everybody wants America to succeed. All the politicians want America to succeed. Nobody's trying to destroy America. We all want success. We have 2 minutes. So I just want you to think about that. I want you to think about what the man said. In the toughest of times and dreadful situations, there can be humanity. And so if they can find humanity amongst those two groups, then we can find humanity with our friends and our neighbors and our coworkers. And just remember, when you're talking to somebody, be kind. We can be kind. It's possible. We're Americans. We built this beautiful country. Well, not me, but our forefathers built this beautiful country on humanity and us working together. So we need to continue to work together. And so in the wise words, we'll close out with the wise words of Vern Van Winkle. And to be in the conscious world, and to be conscious of that and aware of that for such a short time, we need to make the best of it. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, and be kind to one another. And I think we're out. Good night.
Community Viewpoint with Maria Hurst.